I'm back again for Dear Esther. I've played this game, I've played a little bit now. The reason why I haven't played it as much, and there's only one part series on it, is because like Concrete Genie, Lost Ember, and all those new games came out. And I really wanted to play those games, so I kind of forgot about Dear Esther for a while, and then I was like, when I was playing the Untitled Goose game, I was like, oh, I should play Dear Esther again. So I don't know if the file is still in there. So if it's the same, I'm just gonna speedrun it because I know where I'm going and I know where the gist of the story is. So let's begin. And I'm gonna be quiet all the talking scenes, so if you're not hearing me talking a lot, it's because that.
Dear Esther, the gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away. Perhaps it's me.
Okay, we have heard all this.
When he first landed here, Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly, and their shepherds the lowest of the miserable
If you want to hear all
classes
this
that populate
story,
these
I will
Hebridean
talk over
islands.
it. But if you want to hear all the
300 years
story, go to
later,
my next,
even they
my
have
last
departed.
one. I think it's 2 months or 3 months. So, and I can't run, so I'm just gonna speed run this as best as I can, just to show you the new stuff, because I had to go last time, and for some reason you can't see it
reported the legend of the hermit,
all the time. So basically,
in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here
oh,
from
you can
the
run
in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the
Where
sea
is-
could
where's
rise at
my
night to
flashlight?
converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the
I'm
cliff
sorry,
opened
but
up to provide him
if I'm
shelter.
talking for
They
you,
say he died of fever
Just-
116 years
just
later. The shepherds left gifts for
look
him
at
at
the
the mouth
last
of the
one.
cave, but Donnelly records they never
I'm sorry
claimed to
if I'm
have
being
seen
very
him.
rude of this person,
I
but
have visited the cave and I have left my
please,
gifts,
just
but
go
like
to
them,
the next
I
one.
appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
I have no idea. But the visual is amazing. So yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing, so, well, actually I do. Telling a lie, I do. And for some reason you zoom in for some reason, which is pretty weird. I can't run, can't do anything, just every single button is a zoom in button. Except for the 4 keys you can move. It's kind of like Minecraft, the moveset of it. I think everything's the moveset of Minecraft. But just wait a second. There's a lot of backtracking, which it's fine. So, and I'm not going to get confused because I know where I'm going. And definitely I know where I'm going. Lucky me.
Those islands in the distance, I am sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Okay. Yep. I wish you could see me now, I'm just so well snugged.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean. as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
Oh, I can drawing, by the way. So if anyone wants to know. Yeah, I know. I've seen all of this last time. It's just replayed the game. I don't know why. Apparently I have to do scenes. I have no idea how we got on this island.
It's one path through the game.
So there's no saving it?
The mount is clearly the focal point of this landscape. It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial.
Okay.
I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact? When we were torn loose from our moorings and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders, did it first break surface then?
I have no idea. You asked me.
It's a one-person ghost story, so here must be the ghost.
I'm a ghost?
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay.
Is the island real
The infection is not simply of the
Who
flesh.
is Esther, and why has she chosen to summon you there? The answer is out there on the lost beaches.
Okay, don't tell me the
That's
story
okay.
later.
That's fine.
Actually, don't tell me the story later because we want to find out.
So all the time is just keep moving.
Keep moving. Okay. Guys, let's just keep
I
moving.
quote directly, a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most godforsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Hey, person. So we're just speed running this section because we did this all last time.
Dear Esther, I met Paul.
Right.
I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, He'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
That's nice.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
You want a bit more about it?
No, I'm fine. So, we're now back where we were when we last left off, so any talking about now, I'm just going to be quiet, so enjoy the story. So, this is me going to be quiet for a while because the story gets intense by now. Alright. Okay.
You don't actually play things.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
Again, if we have time, I'll play another game if we have time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Ghost game or Concrete Genie. So we're stuck in an island with a guy telling his story.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome break services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay, can you type up where's this game based off, or this game is told?
It's set. Can I talk?
I would turn off Siri. Yeah, you can talk.
It's set in England, and it's something about the death of his wife. His wife was killed in an accident in the motorway, and there's this mystery man called Donnelly. And as you go around the island, you'll hear different parts of the story. So you have to try and work out what happened, but you don't actually have to do things.
Alright.
Are you with me? So you just have to. So there's obviously been an accident on the motorway, and he must have been trying to work out.
So, are we dead?
The man that's talking's dead.
Oh, the man that's talking's dead.
And this is an island off Scotland.
I want to know who's the voice of this.
He's the man who's dead, and there's part of it is that the story is whatever you want it to be. It's a bit sort of odd, you know, you have to make it up to your own mind.
But who's the voicer? Who's the voice?
The narrator.
The narrator.
An imagined answer phone message. The tyres are flat, the wheel spins loosely, and the brake fluid has run like ink over this map, staining the landmarks and rendering the coastline mute, compromised. Where you saw galaxies, I saw only bruises cut into the cliff by my lack of sobriety.
It's a ghost story told using first-person gaming technologies. The focus is an exploration, uncovering the mystery of the island, of who you are and why you're there.
Alright.
Right?
Do you see this boat?
Alright. Eat or drink. It says something about eat or drink, nor drink. A desert island, a lost man, memories of a fatal crash, and a book written by a dying explorer. So it must be the explorer who's dying.
Probably.
Who is Esther, and why has she chosen to summon you here? The answers are out there on the lost beach and the tunnels under the island.
Okay. Well, we're in the boat area now.
Harbour.
Oh yeah, harbors. Actually, one question you probably won't know is, what's a pizza roll? Yeah, what's a pizza roll?
Have to look that up.
I think it's an American thing. Living here in the UK, nah, you don't get pizza rolls. I don't think. We've been dead.
Pizza roll. It's a
What?
restaurant in England.
Is it? Pizza rolls?
Pizza roller.
No, pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls.
Barbed wire, touch it. Rub everywhere, barbed wire. How do you go through that?
Yes, they are. They're like rolled pizzas.
Ooh. Let's see. Let's go. We should. Oh, sorry.
Look at that.
We should try and get them. I have no idea what a pizza roll is, but like, hey. They look like cinnamon rolls.
Yes, that's it, but with pizza.
Like pizza taste.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cinnamon rolls are amazing.
Yeah, do you like them?
Yeah.
Yes, and they're done, but they're cooked the same way.
Are they?
Yeah, like all in a tin.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How
See,
else
they're
could
all
new
cooked.
hermits have arrived?
All
Okay.
in, squashed in a tin.
Okay. Do you see this?
Oh.
This guy looks chalk.
That we can go that direction. There's been a sunken ship or a shipwreck.
Yeah.
And that some of his car goes on the ground.
Either it's the same thing as Rhyme, and just like hang on, it's either like Rhyme, the guy is dead but he doesn't know it, and he's in purgatory kind of thing, and if you believe in that, but if it's set on that, this island is completely fake.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, if he's dying, no then. He wouldn't be in purgatory then.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Oh yeah, he's definitely in purgatory, if you're saying that. Thank you guys for running their collusion.
Clarifying it. Clearing it up.
There's a hole. There is a hole in my island.
Dear Liza, there's a hole in my island.
I want to go see that. Let me go see the hole.
Somebody must have lived in the island at one stage to put a marker on so it wouldn't fall over.
Maybe he did it.
But you know, it wouldn't be just one person on an island. It's somebody's actually.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the centre. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
I think there's also stables.
That looks like stable.
Yeah. I think it was originally a habited island, and then something went wrong, and then everyone went away. I think that's the conclusion. Okay, let's go where the house is. Is that Dear Hester's house? By the way, guys, I've already played Rhyme, so I know the whole storyline, but that's why I was talking about it. If you want me to play that game, I will certainly do it. I will certainly play it again. I played it about 3 times, so I would just speedrun it. And so, generally no point
The
of
bothy
it.
was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalised into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Okay. So guys, just going to here. No. There's a mountain there, but let's go to the house before we go to the mountain. Every abandoned place. Every. Of just windows smash.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs, and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Does he live in here? abandoned. I think he is living here. You know, I think he was on a boat, and then he crashed into this island and couldn't escape, and then they had to like live in these like abandoned houses. Because this is the only house it has not have a broken roof on it. Well, not like broken like the last house we were in. So, oh, go. Yep. It's what you call a cliffside ferry. It's just steam. Yep, let's go in the cave and then oh, this isn't the cave, it's another house. Let's go see that house. So we have to go down. Look at that.
Even go out down that
Nope.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
It's lovely. Is it like very hot in here? No, not here, but like over there.
No, it'd be cold. It'd be very up north near the Arctic Circle.
Like, look, it's like steaming.
Oh, it is. This too.
I have no idea. This. Or maybe it's just fog. Could be that.
It's definitely getting your brain working. There's been another boat that's really wrecked, isn't it? Look, it's fairly late.
Yeah.
That's just a frame on it. There's been an awful other shipwrecks around this island.
Something did happen.
It would take more than one person, Kirsty, to sail that boat.
Yeah, but like something did happen, and then they all died or something. No boat can come
Climbing
over
down
here.
to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken.
Oh,
It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, Winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones.
Sorry, anybody listening?
I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
From the trawler, from the boat? He's raided medical stuff from the trawler.
But have you heard about this new law
What?
in YouTube? Near a month, I think. So the FCC, I think it's an American thing as well, is sued YouTube, and also, what's this? What's the little candlelight?
Who's there? There must be somebody there.
Step on it. And also, so if your contact or whatever you call it, is kid friendly, you don't get ad revenue. Yeah.
Content,
but if you put it on kid friendly, and the FCC thinks it's kid friendly, you get sued. I think like £2,000.
Cheapers, don't want that one.
I think 200 grand or something. And so do you ever get ad revenue? You have this curse.
Alright.
So it's literally like a wall. You're not allowed to curse because you don't get ad revenue. But if you don't curse, you don't get ad revenue.
Oh dear. So you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't.
So what do we do? I don't get ad revenue anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. But if I ever want to YouTube a long term thing,
If you get more famous.
yeah, I fell.
Oh, Jacobson. You've won Jacobson. Someone got Jacobson. Hey, Jacobson. Can you turn the sound off?
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. I can hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
You know what I feel like? You know what I feel? I feel like if that was a cave as well, there'd be like a giant beast just running at you and just tearing you apart if it catch up. Can I go on here?
Oh.
I want to go in there, but I'm. Oh. Okay. I'm a ghost, a thing. Heather. Look at that. Oh, it's just that. It's just a glare.
Oh, it's just a reflection.
I thought it was an actual tunnel down there. I got creeped out. What's over here? Okay. That's where we're trying now. I'm going to get scared. Why is it glowing? And this music is so good. Oh, it's just those things. Mushrooms. Loads of mushrooms.
Fungus or something?
Yeah, either fungus or mushrooms. But this music's so good. So what way should we go? There's two ways. Where should we go? No? That way? Okay. We go this way.
It was as if someone had taken the car and shaken it like a cocktail. The glove compartment had been opened and emptied with the ashtrays and the boot. It made for a crumpled museum, a shattered exhibition.
It made nothing, so we could have gone either way.
No, it made no difference.
Back here. So where do I go? This is a big hoop to the...
Oh. How did you get up there?
I have no idea. Okay, I didn't see this. Oh my god, this is so pretty.
Rocky limestone and water limestone.
Yeah, no.
Oh, right.
But look how pretty this is.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Time to go down the hole. I can go swimming. I'll try to like something on.
I am traveling through my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon and the Ariel shining to me through the rocks.
Look how pretty this is. Ooh. Up or down? Up. Okay, we can't go up, so we're going down. It's like the game's like, no!
When I was coming round from the operation, I remember the light they shone in my eyes to check for pupil contraction. It was like staring up at a moonlit sky from the bottom of a well. People moved at the summit, but I could not tell if you were one of them.
Love weird Brighton. Really like the cave. One of my favorite parts is probably the cave part now. But I haven't played the full game, so yeah. under the sea.
Are you talking about the motorway?
I think so. Okay.
Oh. So the layer is
I think so. We were just like underwater looking at the roadway. I think he is slowly dying.
oh dear.
And his legs is broke.
And it's actually broken right through, so he's got an infection.
The leg is broken. Do you see how slow I go?
It's actually broken through the skin.
I think we broke a bone.
So that's even worse.
Great, we don't have to like walk slowly to the light.
Oh, you've got Esther. Oh, so you're winning trophies, whatever you're doing.
Okay. I don't know how I'm winning trophies, but hey.
Well, who's lighting the candles?
I think him. I don't know.
And out to the moonlight.
Oh, the moonlight's so gorgeous.
Isn't that lovely? See the way framing it makes such a difference to it.
Whoever done this is
The graphics
talented.
Aren't they?
They're really talented.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
That must be where the injection was, Sanford Junction.
Probably. Is this in Europe?
That's off Scotland.
Scotland?
The top of Scotland.
Oh, it's cool.
And Sanford Junction must be near Bristol.
Yeah, 'cause I did hear Bristol.
Exeter and Bristol.
Exeter Bristol?
It's down the long road, but it's
Whoever lives in Bristol is amazing. Okay, I love Bristol.
They're giving you more clues here to drive into the road.
I love that man.
And they must have been painting that new green thing.
Probably. Can I come, please?
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
What's the old cash machine? Is it just me, or did his voice just change? Thank you.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Sean.
Something.
Mm. Heaven. From. So reading backwards. Light from heaven, Sean.
Yeah, there's another stuff.
Roger. So it must have been Donnelly caused the accident.
Probably. I'm fine.
Right. I need to get in that state.
I thought we turned it off.
I know, but there's no heat coming out.
Maybe it's broken.
That's why I need to fix it.
But we should turn that thing on.
And I will if I get past it. You stop for a minute and put the fire on.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
How do you light it?
I'll have to get over it first.
Will you press button?
Do you want to stop? You'll have to stop.
I'll press button. Sorry guys, I'm gonna press button.
We'll have to. Have you the sign?
No, I'm gonna press button.
No, it'll take more than that. I'll have to work on it. But I'll have to get in.
Want me to try?
Stop? Yeah, but can you stop?
No, hang on. I'm dead. No problem. Sorry guys, 1 second. Climbing up. I'll leave it then.
Yeah.
Oh, back on my chair. That's what I want. Oh. Go on. Okay. See, you can draw it in this game. Not done that. Can I have my Coke? Hey. Okay, thanks. At least we got a nice fire. Okay. Got the fire going. It's nearly Christmas. Cannot wait. You know what also is weird? No offense to American people. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Heather, do we celebrate Thanksgiving? Heather,
What?
do we celebrate Thanksgiving?
No, it's an American one.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, again, we don't celebrate, which is awfully weird. We do have turkey, and we do kind of the same thing. So, I don't know why we don't celebrate, Thanksgiving. We have, in the UK we have, Christmas. Excuse me. We have Boxing Day. I don't think American does Boxing Day. I have no idea what Boxing Day is. I think it's just like all boxing stuff. And
I will drag my leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
Paul and Jesus' time?
I have no idea.
He's really gotten delirious.
Yeah.
This is a problem. What is he telling the truth and what's delirious?
I have no idea. I think this island's his vision.
Mm-hmm. Or was he on the island with his backpack?
I don't know.
I think that's part of it. You can make up whatever story
Does
you want.
American celebrate Boxing Day?
Yes, they do.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. It's St. Stephen's Day.
What,
Am I going out in the broadcast?
oh, whatever. What is,
Thanksgiving.
no, what is, our tradition and not American?
Thanksgiving, when people first arrived.
No, I know that, but like, what's the original into the UK and not from America?
All Christians celebrate Christmas because it's the birth of Christ.
Yeah, no, I know about that, but like, is there any holidays we have which America doesn't have? Just a question.
Well, Northern Ireland over the 12th of July. They don't celebrate the 12th of July and
Do
there's
they?
different bank holidays. Why would they celebrate bank holiday 12th of July when it was an Irish battle, the Battle of Boyne?
Oh, right, okay, so the 12th try is ours.
Oh no, they celebrate Halloween. They don't celebrate Guy Fawkes Day, the 5th of November. Because it was in English, remember when they tried to blow up Parliament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going for a quick little here in the stream.
And in Scotland, they're more happy about celebrating New Year than Christmas.
Oh yeah, New Year's always a big thing. Happy New Year and all that. No, I just said it's another year.
It was the first Christian martyr, so that's why we have St. Stephen's Day.
That's St. Stephen's Day. Wait, does Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
They do because an awful lot of Americans came from Ireland.
Alright.
But not all
I've
of
begun
America.
my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fibre, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Okay, so glad we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Actually, something I didn't know, fox hunting is illegal. It's not illegal here.
Is it not?
No,
I thought it was.
I don't think so, no.
Maybe in the south, I don't know. I don't know.
Because we actually saw some people with some.
I still have hunts, but they don't actually do foxes. They go after like a trail. Somebody goes out and does like a trail, you know, with a rag.
Research that. I think I don't think it's legal here.
Right. Since Stephen was the first Christian martyr, he was stoned to death about 33 years after.
Stoned to death.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Okay. I like the purple light here. It's pretty cool looking.
Oh, it's changed colour.
Yeah. It's actually now dark.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it lovely? The graphics are beautiful.
Yeah. Props to these guys. I should tell my story.
The stones in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sanford Junction and the turn-off for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence.
Oh yeah, it's not legal.
Because of our parliament, it should have been illegal, but because there's no parliament.
The government's crap.
Mm-hmm.
So I
The
say.
non-government's crap. How's it gone back to blue again? Who's in?
No one.
Where's his bed gone to?
It's not our house.
Oh, is this another house?
Yeah. But literally, I can't wait till the government gets sorted out. That'll be hilarious.
What's that big?
It's called
What does it say?
Danger.
Unauthorized personnel keep out.
Let's go in then. That's a great idea.
So it hasn't been just an ordinary island, it's been used for something.
Yep.
It's been used for testing or chemicals or something.
Probably.
And look, there's a radio there, so that's been designed. That wasn't just an old shepherd living there.
Mhm.
And those steps. It's been used for something.
Oh, what else would have danger on it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not just an ordinary island. It's been. Oh. It's a important area.
So 12th of July. Well, it's really weird. So 12th of July is.
Stopped on the road to Damascus. Paul sat at the roadside, hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goat herd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sanford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact.
Oh, they have
This is not a
Martin Luther
recorded natural
Day.
condition. He should not
They
be
have
sat there with his
President's
chemicals
Day.
and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat
Right.
there at all.
America has a lot of.
The Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus
We
Day.
do not have an Independence Day. Wait, we did.
Independence from what?
Some kids usually go to the walk to school and walk back?
No, this was Independence Day when America broke away from England, from Britain.
Oh,
You know,
right.
hundreds of years
So,
ago it
okay.
became
So we don't. Jeez, America has a lot of,
New Year's Day, Martin Luther Day.
love to go to America. If I was ever gonna go holiday with like a couple of grand or something, I would go to America because it's one of the biggest countries.
Right, they've got New Year's Day,
We
they've
will
got
leave
Martin
twin
Luther
vapour
King
trails in the
Day,
air.
they've got President's
White
Day,
lines etched
well, we've
into
got
these
the
rocks.
Queen's birthday. Right, we do New Year's Day too. We've got Memorial Day, they've got Independence Day,
Dear
they've got
Esther,
Labour Day, they've
I have
Columbus
burnt my
Day,
belongings,
Veteran
my
Day,
books, this
Thanksgiving
death
Day, and
certificate.
Christmas Day.
Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jacobson? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jacobson flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
You gonna jump?
Oh. Well, he is if he's fallen down it, isn't he?
Yeah, he just jumped.
Did I? He's fallen down it. Look at all the white paint.
He's not
on
gonna
it.
make it.
No, you wouldn't make it at that height. Is he going to go splat at the end or is he just going to end? Look at all the white paint.
Oh. Wait, what? We bird? I just saw a shadow of a bird. We're a bird. We're genuinely a bird. They're singing Esther. It's been officially an hour.
It's an hour and 10. Oh, there was something flew up, didn't it?
This is such a beautiful game. I can't specify how good this game is. It was actually slow in the start, which I didn't like. But usually all story-based, yeah, we're a bird. All story-based games, we are usually always slow. So, yeah. Dear Esther.
It's about an hour, it says it's in about an hour.
Come back.
Oh no, it can be 1 hour to 3.5 hours. In the Landmark edition, I think the Landmark edition, you've got it.
No, I think it's over.
Kirsty, I don't want to spoil the story, but it said somewhere in one of the bits that I read that you saw a person sometimes. Did we ever see a person?
I think we saw a person once,
Right, trophy earned, you got Paul out of it.
but then other times, no.
Right.
I think there's different endings, well, different paths you can take.
That's what it basically says. It's up to you to work out what
Yeah.
what is it.
I just took the general path I saw, but oh my word,
It's one of the most original first-person games of recent years.
yeah. I absolutely loved this game. I can't specify as much, but
Emphasize
whatever you want to call it. There's actually been so much political.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about whatever, and then in the background we were playing this game, and it was pretty good. And yeah, thanks for all these guys for making this game. It was pretty good game. I enjoyed it. I don't care if anyone well, no offense, but anyone if wants to rage in this game, I don't mind. It is one of my favorite type of games, of story-based games. I'm not a great shooter game. I'm not a great like Fortnite player, but I would play it originally. And my favorites are just usually story-based games, which today we saw this. And again, Dear Esther's a good game. So thanks to all these guys for making it, and yeah. And I will play another game, because what time's it?
It's only 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, so we will play another game. Don't know if we're gonna finish it, but it is a good game.
We'll have a break.
So I will see you in the next video. Bye. I took a photograph.